My name is Dan and this is One Takes Politics. Today I'd like to demonstrate with facts, or at least give some facts as to why Donald Trump's oft-repeated claim that there has been massive voter fraud that affected the 2016 presidential election is untrue. Between stating that 3 to 5 million people voted illegally in California and that New Hampshire's vote was swung by people brought in by busloads from Massachusetts. Various spokespeople, particularly Stephen Miller, have come out to defend these claims using bombast and stern looks while providing absolutely no facts to back this up. Before we go too much further into the spurious claims of this, if Trump believes this, then he should direct his Department of Justice to do a large-scale public investigation. Why hasn't that happened yet? Simply put, because everyone knows in government that this voter fraud didn't happen. We can guess as to why you would still try to do this sort of lying. I believe it's blind narcissism and it distracts from other things, but there is not widespread voter fraud. And there are previous investigations by Republican politicians that have worked to prove this point. PolitiFact tells of Governor Rick Scott of Florida trying to remove 182,000 names suspected of being improper. Upon further inspection, the number was reduced to 198. Of that, 85 non-citizens were registered to vote, and they were identified, and only one was convicted. So if you get one conviction out of 182,000 suspected names, that's not even a witch hunt. That's truly a needle in a haystack, and not a suggestion of endemic fraud, a suggestion that the thing itself is incredibly rare. Now consider Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach, a well-known proponent of voter suppression, claimed that he had 100 demonstrable cases of voter fraud. He brought forth 6 with 4 convictions. And according to The Nation, when he testified in front of Congress, he testified there were 14 cases referred to prosecution out of 84 million votes in 22 states. That is 0.00000017%. Do you think that really swings national elections? Now, furthermore, there have been many mainstream Republicans that have come out to dismiss these claims. The Brennan Center for Justice lists 10 current Republican secretaries of state that have dismissed Trump's claims. Their article lists many other politicians refuting the claims as well. It would be far too long to list them, so the link will be below. I invite you to do your own research on these things. But the Heritage Center, a right-leaning think tank, right-wing, right-leaning, depending on your point of view, I suppose, they have compiled a database of various crimes relating to irregular and illegal voting practices. It's 139 pages long. It is very extensive. And it covers everything from fake names on ballot initiatives to absentee voting abuse. As such, the case is still too small to affect a presidential election. And as through my looking through it, the database goes back to cases involving a 1982 election. So it's spread out over decades. 139 pages sounds like a lot, but if we listed the number of people who murdered someone or even were busted drunk driving, you'd be shocked by how much bigger a 35-year database of that would be. In one-point print, it would probably still be over 139 pages. Completely unreadable, but still longer. And when considering if there's any truth to this voter fraud, let's go to the final and most obvious source. The president's team, in a court filing trying to stop the Michigan recount, said all available evidence suggests the 2016 general election was not tainted by fraud or mistake. So Trump himself, or his people acting on his behalf, have written in court documents, this being their believed reality, in a courtroom is that there was not massive voter fraud. So for the people who believe there might be any truth to this claim, ask yourself, if no one else believes it, including Trump when it serves his needs, why are you still thinking it's possible? I'm not claiming there are no voter irregularities, no voting irregularities. If there's a crime, somebody's committed it, basically. Otherwise, there probably wouldn't be a law. But to state that there's massive voter fraud is absolutely a lie. And again, I really do welcome them to bring this out in public and tell us where the evidence is. Their continued resistance to doing so is not just proof that this thing doesn't exist, but that they were willing to lie to it for simply political purposes, and that's something horrible to consider. Thank you for watching this. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please send it to your Republican friends, and hopefully they'll send me horribly nasty comments, and if any of them can provide any demonstrable proof that my claim is wrong, that voter fraud didn't happen, I welcome that from them as well. Thank you very much, and have a good day.